Hi, I'm professional sports handicapper Ross Benjamin. It's Tuesday, March 31st. I have a free selection tonight in the Elite Eight game between the UCLA Michigan Wolverines, and that comes on a total in that game, which is currently at 135.5. Before I get to that, just some friendly notes here, folks. The free picks that I've been doing with Chip Chirimbus and myself haven't done well over the last week or so. So again, folks, we want to win when we give out those free picks. I definitely want to win when I give out free picks to you. But at the end of the day, the free picks are not how I make my living. I don't bet on these free picks. I bet on the games that are my best picks and are sold at rbwins.com. That's my personal website, rbwins.com. Case in point, folks, last night I went 2-0 in Elite Eight action as I had the top play winner in the Baylor game, as I had the Baylor Bears minus 7.5 and an 11-point win over Arkansas. And I also had a 5-star pick on Oregon State +8 as they roared back from a 17-point first half deficit to get inside the number in a 6-point loss against Houston in that contest. So now, folks, since the start of round 2, I've gone 10-4 with my NCAA tournament paid selections. In addition to my college basketball 10-star top plays, one of which, like I alluded to, was on Baylor last night, are now 77-47 with my last 124 college basketball 10-star top plays. That's 62%. Now, keep in mind, I never give out more than one of those in a day in any particular sport, including college basketball. And sometimes I go days without giving out a 10-star top play. And that 77-47 run dates all the way back to 2017. So that's a pretty large sample size, folks, and a great win percentage, 62%. As a matter of fact, even if you played $200 or $300, let's use $300 for example. What I always recommend is $200 on a 5-star and $300 on a 10-star for my clients, or denominations that are equivalent to that. So in other words, I bump up my 10-star plays by 50%. Over that course of time, 77-57, if you played $300 a game on those 10-star top plays in college basketball, you're up $12,000. Not bad, folks. Anyway, let's get to our free pick. Again, UCLA, Michigan, we're looking at the total of 135.5. Let's start with this. Let's start with how slow a tempo both of these teams play at. And how do I measure that? Well, I use Ken Pom analytics in that regard. And what the tempo is measured by this. How many offensive possessions do you get per 40 minutes? And when you use both of these teams' analytics in that regard, Michigan ranks number 247 out of 357 Division I teams in terms of how fast they play. Now, on the other hand, you could say how slow they play, because what that means is they're in the lower third of how fast they play in terms of tempo. And UCLA, on the other hand, they're one of the slowest, I should say, tempo teams in the country when it comes to offensive tempo, that is. And they rank 337 out of 357 Division I teams. So both of these teams prefer to use much of the shot clock, and both of these teams are very patient offensively. Now, Michigan, on the other hand, they're number 8 in adjusted defense. And how that's measured, folks, is how many points you allow per 100 offensive possessions by your opponent. And Michigan is terrific in that regard. Number 8 out of 357 teams. UCLA, not too bad themselves at number 57, which is in the upper 20% in that category. Now, Michigan, over their last 6 games, and again, I'm going to talk about turnovers here. And why I mention turnovers is because of the fact that if you're a avid college basketball or NBA follower, you know, oftentimes when teams turn the ball over, it leads to outnumbered situations for the opponents, easy scores for their opponents. And if you protect the basketball, you eliminate a lot of that from happening. And Michigan, over the last 6 games, as I touched upon earlier, averaging just 8.8 turnovers per contest, while UCLA, in their 4 NCAA tournament games this year, is just committing 7 turnovers per contest. So both of these teams really protect the basketball and avoid a lot of outnumbered and fast break opportunities for the opposition off of turnovers. Now, UCLA, if you look at their offensive and defensive numbers in their first 4 games in this NCAA tournament, and remember, folks, they started in the play-in game, so they played 1 additional game than Michigan in this NCAA tournament. Those offensive and defensive numbers are askew because, remember, in their opening in the play-in game, I should say, against Michigan State, that game went overtime. And then in the Sweet 16 win they had over Alabama, that game was tied 65-65 at the end of regulation time. So again, folks, you got to look a little bit more than the final scores when you evaluate and handicap college basketball or the NBA. Michigan has gone. Let me start with this. Michigan is coming off that 76-58 dominating performance win over Florida State. And they have gone 6-0 under the total this year, or played 6-0 to the under in their last 6 games after allowing 60 points or fewer. And those 6 contests averaged a combined 131 points scored per contest. I like UCLA and Michigan to go under the total of 135.5. Folks, here's what I always tell my clients: buy off the hook in basketball. There's no key numbers in basketball like there is in football. I could live with a push, but I can't live with losing by 0.5 point. If the number you're using is a whole number, such as 135 or 136, leave it alone. If it's 135.5 and you like the under, spend the extra money on the juice, the 10%, and buy it down to 135 or 136. Buy it up, I should say, to 136. And if you get a push on one of those 10 times you do that, you're making money over the long haul. Do the math. So I would recommend UCLA, Michigan, under 135.5. Buy it up to 136. Again, UCLA, Michigan, buy it up to under 136 as my free pick in the NCAA tournament on Tuesday, March 30th. Reminding you again, folks, rbwins.com is my website, red hot with my NCAA tournament picks. And I will have 2 more tonight. I will have a winning side in this same UCLA Michigan game. And I also will have a winning side in the other matchup between USC and Gonzaga. So again, that's rbwins.com. Folks, don't forget to subscribe to this YouTube channel if you haven't already. Costs you absolutely nothing to do so. And you also hit that notification bell. And if you are a subscriber, hit that, and you haven't done so already, hit that notification bell. You'll be notified immediately upon me publishing any of my sports betting videos on this channel. And don't forget, be kind enough to give me a like, putting a lot of effort into these videos for you. And let's get a winner tonight. Once again, UCLA, Michigan, under 136. Until the next time, I'm Ross Benjamin. Good luck and God bless.